Okay, so this video is going to be about Darth's position on circular reasoning. And he has, in many of his conversations, if you listen to him, he talks about this so-called ultimate authority. And when somebody questions him about his reasoning, Darth says, well, only an ultimate authority can justify itself or is self-authenticating. He likes to say that a lot. In other words, you can't go outside of that ultimate authority to a different authority in order to justify it, because if you do, then you are abandoning your worldview. You're using another authority in order to justify the ultimate authority, which would mean that whatever you're using, that would become the ultimate authority. So that's his reasoning. Darth's reasoning is that that's the reason why you cannot do that in the Christian worldview, because if you do it, it would be a logical fallacy. So I'm going to play a couple clips here now on Darth as he talks about circular reasoning. So the first one, I found this one. It's an older clip, but it was very interesting. I'm going to play that clip right now. Here it is.
All circular reasoning is fallacious, right?
I'm actually going to. I personally think all circular arguments are fallacious, but I know there are views that think that there are virtuous and vicious circles.
Okay, so all circular reasoning is fallacious in your view?
Yeah, as far as I can tell.
Okay, good. What is your final authority
for
determining what is the case?
No, I rely on my properly basic beliefs.
Are they circular?
No, they're unjustified. They're articles of faith.
Okay, do you assume your reasoning is reliable?
Yes.
Is that circular?
No, I'm not justifying my reason by my reason. I assume my reason works. Right. I don't specifically assume my reason works. I assume that I have these ingredients to rationality, which are my properly basic beliefs. And then,
does everybody see a problem in what he's saying here?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, Nick, I think Floyd would agree that, properly basic beliefs are something that are presuppositions. You hear what I'm saying, Nick?
Right, yeah. That's why I said they're articles of faith. I don't justify them.
Either you assume your reasoning is reliable,
right,
or you have some means to justify that your reasoning is reliable other than assuming it.
Right. I just said I don't have a way of justifying it.
Okay,
they're articles of faith. If I could justify them, they wouldn't be faith.
Okay, so you assume that it's reliable, right?
Yeah, you have to understand, like, the properly basic beliefs are ingredients to what make up a rationality.
I'm
just shortly explaining. I don't rely on that my reason is reliable, but specifically. But these add up to my reason, and then I use my reason.
Okay. Do you assume that your reasoning is reliable?
I've said yes 3 times.
Okay. Is that circular?
No. To assume, you ask if I could justify my reason. I say no, I can't justify my reason. I just assume my reason.
Okay, good. If you assume your reasoning is reliable, that's circular.
Explain how assuming my reason is circular.
Okay, so there you heard part of the clip. I'm going to play the tail end of it in a second. But what basically happened in this conversation, it went on for maybe 3 or 4 more minutes. And basically they were just going over the same thing over and over. And other people were in the room trying to explain to Darth this guy's position. And Darth was just basically repeating the same question or making the same point over and over. So they were trying to explain to him, but it seemed to be the case that he was determined to show the room that there's a problem with circular reasoning. Okay, now I'm going to play the tail end of that clip. Here it is.
By saying his claim is he's not being circular because he's not even attempting to justify.
That's called assuming. That's circularity.
Right. So, no. Wait,
Assuming is not circular. Like if I assume that I'm cool, that's not.
I'm going to have to leave in a minute because my head is going to explode.
No, you know what? Look.
Okay. He is assuming his reasoning is reliable. If you assume the very thing.
No.
Okay.
No. You can't. Please don't make point. Okay, he left. Let him leave. That's fine.
Okay, so what you saw was Darth actually left the conversation. And remember, this is coming from the same guy who says he does not run. So he actually left the conversation because the other people in the room did not see the same thing that he was trying to say. They did not agree with his view. So Darth, he is, I would say, an extremely radically intolerant person, and that if anyone disagrees with his view or does not accept his view, he's going to shove it down your throat. And if you still do not accept his view, wonderful Christian, fundamentalist Christian, very kind and polite, if you do not accept his view, that will lead to anything including banning, probably insulting or some kind of degrading, and then muting and banning. That's probably what it will end up in if you do not accept his idea. Now, here I'm going to show you listen to what the other people were saying. Darth, they even referred circular reasoning, his conversation with Floyd. Because basically Floyd took him through the same thing. His position was the same. He's not trying to justify his position. Because if he did, then it would be circular. But Darth has blinders on when it comes to this point. Okay, now I'm going to play another clip which is similar. This is again where Darth is attacking circular reasoning. Here's that clip.
Are the laws of physics, chemistry, and that we would include as a set called the uniformity of nature, are they descriptive or prescriptive?
The laws are prescriptive.
How do you know that?
Those laws, they exist. They existed in the past. Continue to.
How do you? Can you see the future?
Hold on. Talking.
Isaiah, can you see the future?
I cannot see the future.
So how can you tell me then, if you can't see the future, that these laws will continue into the future?
All right, Dawkins.
We can draw conclusions from the past to base assumptions for the future.
That's Isaiah. That's circular reasoning.
Right. Say something. So Isaiah, what you're saying here, this is you're saying the future will be like the past because it's always been. That circular reasoning, it's a logical fallacy. And
it's called begging the question.
Yeah, right.
Well,
Okay, there again, Darth was attacking circular reasoning, calling it begging the question. So now I'm going to play a little different clip. Watch this magic. Here it is.
Presentation about the necessity of trend for just every day. So when the other is circular, well, the question is simply this: is your position that all forms of circularity? Because if you do, then you're going to have to explain to me on what grounds do you establish and hold to the laws of logic. They're going to have to on circular grounds. And if they don't, then they're going to be holding to the laws of logic arbitrarily.
Okay, so there it is. So there he's defending circularity. He's saying that you have to maintain some type of a circular reasoning if you're talking about the laws of logic. And if you don't, it's going to be arbitrary. So take your pick. It's a smorgasbord. Just take your pick. And remember, this is the same guy that's going to say his worldview, whatever that is, because he says God is a worldview. He says, number two, the Bible is a worldview. And then he just finished saying reality is a worldview. So whatever his worldview is, it's the only coherent worldview. So take your pick. Thanks for listening.